Good morning, everyone. Doug Berry here. Welcome to the Sierra region of California and Nevada. This morning, we're going to head on over to an undisclosed location in the great state of Nevada and do some gold panning with my friends Richard and Tina. It should be interesting and fun. Richard here's got some gold dust and he's gonna dump it out in the pan. We're gonna take a look at it.
This is probably 10 or 12-year-old gold. It's whatever's in here. And I'm just going to try and dry wash it and get some of it out.
So Richard is panning this right now, that black sand.
He's already been shaking it, so it's ready to go. So I'm just going to put it right down here on the concrete. Let the black flow out.
See the black sand? So let's add a little bit more water in there, not too much.
Okay.
This is just a demonstration to show how it's done down by the creek.
This is how you're supposed to do it.
Oh, I see it separating the different colors.
Yeah.
There's the dark sand and the heavier white. Looks almost like gravel sand.
Yeah.
Heavier.
I don't even know if there's any gold in here, but we're going to find out shortly.
A little water?
Yep. Okay, now we're going to start.
A little more?
No, that's okay. I'm going to try and talk it into coming upstairs. Well, let's see if we can swirl it around and see if there's anything in it.
It doesn't look too promising, but it is the kind of black sand that gold's found in. So there probably is some gold in there. But the main thing here is we're learning how to use the pan.
I don't see
The one you use just to pull the black sand off.
There might be a little speck right here underneath of that. Okay, so this little piece right here is amalgamated gold. It's got mercury on it.
Oh, it's got mercury on the gold.
Yeah,
it's amalgamated.
That's why it's silver looking. So that's probably what I was going for at that time. We were probably dredging up in the, where was we? We were probably dredging up on the Feather River.
That's what we were talking about, where there was that, where you were trying to clean it all off and you had to burn the potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
So that's probably what that is.
Oh, okay. So it's toxic, actually, that little piece.
Well, that little piece, no, it wouldn't hurt you, but yeah, if you got more of it like I have before, you have to put it in, you cut your potato in half and you dig out the center a little bit and you push the gold, the amalgam of it into it, and you fold it up and you wrap it with a wire, and then you put it in a fire, in your open fire.
So you burn, the mercury burns off?
And and the mercury will go off of it, and the gold will be absorbed in, will be left in the potato.
So you're actually cleaning the creek doing that, aren't you?
Oh yeah, you bet. Every time you go.
So you're actually the placer miners sometimes are actually cleaning the environment. Interesting.
Every day.
Cool.
I mean, you get nails, you get lead, you get mercury, you get all different kinds of stuff.
Now the lead will hurt like wildlife, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richard's going to show us how to use a snuffer bottle to pick up the gold or anything that might be in the black sand.
Okay.
Oh, it's like you vacuum it up.
Yeah. It's pretty thick. This is not.
Oh, wow, look at that. Oh, so you actually push out the water.
Yeah.
You push out the water and then the black sand collects in there.
Yep.
It's not rocket science, but there's a technique. I see that piece of amalgamated gold there.
Yeah.
So why would the mercury stick to the gold like that?
Mercury is attracted to gold.
Mercury is attracted to gold.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that's one of the, there's so much mining done back in the day that they left there's a lot of mercury in the water, and it will flow down the stream, polluting as it goes along, but still flowing, and it will find a piece of gold.
So interestingly enough, one would never suspect that actually people that are gold miner are actually cleaning up the creeks of mercury. Who would have thought, right?
Yeah, well, anybody that's a gold miner knows that, but the government has made it seem like we're the bad guys, and we're not.
Right.
So the first thing that you want to do when you buy a gold pan, a new one, is you want to rough it up. So you get some sandpaper and you sand the pan so that it's no longer slick. You have to do it on the bottom, the sides, everything, so it's no longer slick. And that way the gold and stuff will stick in there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just something, that's a little trick. This pan is worn pretty good because I've used it a lot.
Mm-hmm. So like a real fine sandpaper?
Yeah, I would say a 220 or thereabouts.
220? Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So it worked great. We definitely had fun when we were out there. I did. I had a lot more fun. Tina used to dive with me, but we were down in a pretty deep hole. And a rock that was up on the wall, we were 17 feet down, and she's dredging, and she wasn't really new. She was pretty new at it. She'd been, playing in shallower water, which is easy, but when we're down in deep water, you got to watch that wall. And she didn't watch the wall, and I saw her spin around. And
well, that's when she almost got washed away, right?
No, this is
another one. Oh,
this
goodness.
Is another. So
luckily she's tough.
That rock weighed probably close to 300 pounds, and it hit her in the shoulder and spun her around.
Yeah.
And
for all your viewers, since you don't know about Richard, he is very, very protective of Tina. So don't think he wasn't looking after her. He's very protective of Tina.
So we have done a lot of stuff together. We dredged all summer long, and we would come out, like this is one of the things that we kept our gold in. So that's a lot of gold that goes into that. That's probably 5.5, 6 ounces. So I've got 2 of them up there that I had to put away. I was hoping that we would eventually be able to go back to dredging, but now I'm just getting too old. I can't do it. I can't move. I can't get the dredge down to the water or get it back up. I can still dredge, but I can't move the dredge.
It's a lot of tough, heavy work. I think you were even talking about where you had to take the dredge and go down a steep canyon to get into the claim to work it.
Yep. It was hard. All of that. We one time we were putting the dredge down, bringing it up or taking it down, I'm not sure which, and I had we were using the hoist on our truck that I had, and the rope was caught on, or the cable was caught on something, and Tina was trying to get the dredge loose, and the rope came loose, and she went flying, and she landed in a poison oak patch.
Goodness.
Oh yeah, strange things happen when you're out
Did you get poison oak or no?
Yes.
Oh no.
First and last time we did that.
But you guys had a lot of fun, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
And we still, we have the memories of it. We've got the dredges that I up until this spring, I realized that I wasn't going to be able to dredge anymore. And so now it's time to start getting rid of all of that dredging stuff. I have everything that you need for 2 people to go under the water.
We'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So tell me, there was a time when you were younger. Now you've been a gold prospector, gold miner, outdoorsman since you were a child,
Right?
Right. and I think you said you were about maybe 17 years old.
17, 18.
And you ended up going up a creek. You'd have to tell a river in the motherlode country. You have to tell what it ended up happening was you ended up. Well, you'll have to tell the story.
Okay. So I had found this creek, and I decided I was going to test it out. So I started panning, and I found a little gold. So I went up a little bit further, and I found a little gold. And I went up further, a little bit further. I was up probably 1.5 miles or 2 miles up this creek. And I had been putting the gold that I had in an aspirin bottle, the half-size aspirin bottle, the old timers. I was only 18, so 18, 19, so somewhere around in there. So, I didn't realize that I needed to put it in a plastic bottle. I had an aspirin bottle in my pocket. And I was panning away, and I looked up, I felt something, and I looked up, and I'm kneeling in the creek, and this guy is standing over me with a double-barrel shotgun.
Where was this? What creek? What river?
It was off of 88.
Oh, Highway 88, Kit Carson Pass.
So yeah,
okay,
I think
American.
It was either 88 or Highway 4, one of the two.
Okay.
I mean, you got to remember, this is 50 years ago. So I looked up, and this guy said, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm doing okay." And he said, "You're on my claim." And he was pretty gruff about it. Big old bearded guy. And I said, "Okay, well, I'll go ahead and leave." And he said, "You've got my gold."
How much gold did you have on you at that time?
Well, I probably had half of an aspirin bottle.
That's about 2.5 ounces.
So it's probably two ounces somewhere.
So at
around
least
in
about
there.
$4,000.
Yeah, well, in today's prices.
Right. Weren't you saying that when you actually were busy, scrambling over rocks in the creek, and you said you went about 1 mile or something?
Yeah.
1 mile scrambling through a creek. That's a lot of scrambling. That's
Yeah.
like all day, pretty much. So he must have been following you for quite a while, waiting until you
was
got all
watching
this
me.
gold for him.
He was watching me. He knew what I was doing with the gold he knew I was finding gold for one, and he knew that I was putting it into the aspirin bottle, and I had a choice. I could argue with him, me being down in the creek, he being up in the creek with a double-barrel shotgun. And I said real quickly, "Okay," and I pulled it out of my pocket and I handed it up to him, and I said, "Can I go now?" And he said, "Yep, you can go now."
Luckily, you made a good decision.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're still with us, Richard. So,
one of those strange things that happen.
one thing we were talking about too, because he told me this story previously, is that at that time, years ago, this is like 50 years ago or so,
Yeah.
right? A lot of those claims weren't really well marked. And so nowadays, for instance, I think you even said you might have come back in that same area, and
Yeah.
it was marked. Maybe you could tell all our viewers what the marks look like in California, what the marks look like for claims in Nevada, so people don't end up looking down the barrel of a double barrel shotgun.
Yeah. In Nevada, they're posts, and they have an aluminum tag on each post that they nail into the side of the post. In California, now they have a black and gold sign that says, "This is my claim."
Black and gold.
Yep.
And isn't it pretty much like higher up so people won't vandalize
They
it?
put it as
So you have to look
actually have
high.
a ladder that they climb up, and they nail this to the tree. And by regulation, they're supposed to put it either, I don't remember exactly, it's either 100 or 200 feet when you're on a road, when you're on a public area, so that people can know that they can see it.
So when we're looking for them, then again, they put them up high so people
Right.
won't vandalize them and remove them.
Right.
So when we're looking for that, what was the color again?
It should be a black with yellow, either black with yellow writing or
Okay.
yellow with black writing.
So
One
you
of the
want
two.
you want to look up a little bit when you're looking around, scope out the area first really
Yeah.
quickly, because especially in the motherlode country, there's
Yeah.
a lot of claims in there. So
Especially when you find a place to pull over off of one of these roads, if it's claimed, it's going to have a sign right there where you can pull out. So look around in the trees over there, and that's the main way. I mean, California used to have it used to be pretty lax way back when, but now you have to have the claim markers.
So what type of information is typically on those claim markers, Richard?
Generally, you have, well, for sure, you have the name of the claim, the location of the marker, the name of the person, and a way to contact them. And it has a date on there. And if it's a new claim, it'll say right on there, it'll be stamped on there. If it's an older claim, they had to put it on there.
Right. So this is something to keep in mind too. It's serious business. It's serious business. If you're out in the Nevada desert somewhere and you're not paying attention, you're going around digging around, you're putting your life in danger, because this is serious business and people have spent a lot of time to get these claims, and maintain these claims are very expensive. It's serious business. It's just like trespassing. It's like if somebody wandered into your house and sat down and started watching some video games on your reclining chair. So
You're in
keep
their
that in mind.
house.
Yes. So you want to make sure where you are and what you're doing, and do your research and due diligence first.
Yep.
If you look at the tip of my finger, there's a fleck of gold right there. You can see it or not. There's quite a few of those in here.
There's a piece here. There's a couple pieces over here.
So I was right, that was gold.
Yeah, you were right. That is gold.
This is my 5-inch dredge. It's complete. Everything that you see here goes with this dredge. The motor probably has about 50 hours on it. And this is the impeller that drives all the water. And this is a compressor that 2 people can use to breathe underwater with the hookah system, which I have a double hookah system. And the header, the other chute is in the shed, but it's a good dredge.
So of those of you who don't know how a dredge works, Richard and Tina are going to fill us in on how a dredge works when you're doing gold mining on these creeks and rivers.
Okay, so here's the nozzle on the dredge, and that's the size rock that you can suck up. It goes on the hose. Actually, it goes on the bigger hose, but I use this one in shallow water. But this other gray thing down in here is a riffle, and when you dredge, that nozzle is on the bottom of the river, and it sucks up the dirt and sand and everything, small rocks. The big rocks you got to throw out of the way. The small ones, you keep sucking them up, and it goes, all of this material flows through here, and I think that this does about 2 yards an hour. So it's a really big, powerful dredge. And my honey one of the problems that we had was I was always in the water, and I love the water, but my wife was up on top in the hot sun tending
the back of the dredge. I made sure all the big rocks got off, and I made sure nothing got plugged and everything was running smooth. And if there was a problem, I would shut down the motor and wipe out his ear, and he'd have to come up.
So Tina, are you saying it's basically a 2-person operation to do this size?
One person can do it, but
It's,
you're very fortunate if there's 2.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
so much easier with 2. You can sink a dredge like this. This thing
I
floats
did.
in.
Oh, it floats, so
She-
there's like
she
pontoons
sunk
on
one.
it.
She sunk this dredge, and I couldn't believe it, but she was running material through and just moving it back behind us, and she was sucking it up so fast that it loaded up the riffles, and it literally sunk the dredge.
Wow. So
So-
how'd you get it refloated?
We had to take and shovel all the sand off of it.
Right.
And then once we got it high enough, because it's buoyant, once
Right.
we got it high enough, it kept coming out
Right.
of the water. Luckily, it didn't get the motor
Right.
wet.
So the thing is, the key thing I'm noticing is that the dredging, any kind of gold mining period, it's a lot of work.
It's a
It
lot
is
of work.
a lot of work.
Tina's going to tell us about their adventure with moving a big boulder.
We were moving this big boulder, and we had no place to hook the grip hoist. So Richard used his how big of a,
6-foot-long
6
crowbar.
foot long
Heavy
crowbar.
crowbar. Weighed about 40 pounds.
and we put the grip hoist in between it, and I'm pulling this rock up and pulling this rock up, and it got stuck, and I'm still trying to pull it, and all of a sudden something snapped. It was the crowbar. It bent the crowbar in half.
Oh.
It was
I
awful.
was bummed.
This is a 5-inch you're trying to get rid of, Richard. Don't you have a smaller one too?
Yes.
What size? What size is that? A 4-inch?
4-inch. It's it's a Keen,
Uh-huh.
a 4-inch triple sluice,
Oh, okay.
and
A
it's-
triple sluice.
Yeah. And it's a gold machine. I mean, that sucker. So Doug, you've been doing some weightlifting. I want you to try and pick this up. This is what we had to move up and down the riverbank.
I'll give it a try. That's pretty heavy. It's got some weight on it.
You wouldn't normally have that to pick it up. So it's 87 pounds.
87 pounds. Okay.
Just for that. And then you got, like I say, there's another piece that goes from up there.
That's not too bad.
Okay.
I think I'd move it in two pieces.
No, you don't want to take it apart.
No, don't want to take it apart.
No.
We were just getting ready to go gold panning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh.
Another day.
Yeah, that's right. Just sign with your finger across the...
Well, Richard and Tina couldn't make it today, so I'm gonna head out on my own, see what I can find. Well, it's really greened up since the last time I was out here. They were doing some plowing and disking, some spring planting. Now all that bare ground is green. Here comes the turnoff right up here on East Walker Road. Gonna take a look at this over here. The Walker River State Recreation Area. Some speed bumps to go over right by these people's home here, by their farm. Well, I guess technically this road is a gravel road, but it's got a lot of mud on it, so I don't know. I'd call it a cross between a dirt road and a gravel road. Well, we're not that far out of town. We're already out in the boondocks. Really nice and peaceful out here. I think I'll check out this canyon over here. It's actually really pleasant and cool in here. And just what I needed. I need to get a little exercise. This is not a trail I'm walking along through here. It's a dry stream bed. There's all kinds of animal tracks in here. It's like a who's who in the area. That's a pack rat's nest there. Starting to get a lot of that iron colored black sand, like heavy iron. I think that's a good sign. Well, either way, it's good practice. I can definitely see that black in there. That's a lot of black in there.